Hello, hello. This is Robin Sampson with BibleJournalLove.com. You are going to watch me Bible journal digitally today in a traveler's notebook. And I have this traveler's notebook from the Exodus era lesson, and we just learned about the victory of the Israelites when they came closer to the promised land, and then the story of the brazen serpent. So I'm going to Bible journal both of these stories in this 2-page spread that I can share online or print out and put in a traveler's notebook. And if you want to know more about what a traveler's notebook is, go to my website, BibleJournalLove.com, and go to the blog and type in traveler's notebook, and it tells you all about it. So there's a lot of different ways you can Bible journal. I'm Bible journaling digitally or hybridly. Hybridly means when I'm done with this page, I can print it out. So I'm using hybrid and print methods. So this is a traveler's notebook, and I've already loaded down here, and I'm in Photoshop Elements. I'm in the Expert window. And here in the photo bin, I've already put all of the elements that are included in the Bible journaling class in the Exodus era. Every lesson receives a kit that you can use to Bible journal or to use to scrapbook or whatever you want to do with it. But today we're going to Bible journal this page. So I have something on my clipboard that I want to do first, and I'm going to make a white rounded rectangle on this side because I'm going to document the victories. And I can paste this text into the Facebook group if this will help you. And here I've listed, except for the Canaanites that Israel rashly attacked in Numbers, Israel defeats every enemy, including the Amalekites, the Amorites, and the Bashan. And that's what we just learned in this lesson. So I wanted to do like a bullet list here. I'm going to take it out of this rectangle because it's easier for me to work with, to paste it outside of the rectangle because I want to add these bullets. And to document this, I'm going to use the word victory. But I also wanted to keep in there that there was a battle that they first had 38 years earlier that they rashly went out and they did not win because they only won and had a victory when God was supernaturally with them. So I'm going to get some bullets, which is any font that has wingdings. You can turn into bullets and different types of symbols. So I'll use these little arrows. And I'll show you a little trick how to line up the bullets with your list after I fix my list here. And these were the 3 huge battles that they had where they had victories. And I'm going to change the font. Something bolder. But I'll leave my note in the script. And what I'm going to do is put the leading to a size . And then we'll put the leading for the bullets also at a size 30, and that'll help them to line up. And my note can be a lot smaller than that. We'll do about 14. Then over here, I wanted to put a picture of the brazen serpent. Now this is why I included a traveler's notebook with a frame and a mask behind it to already give you a head start. Now you could start with a plain traveler's notebook because there's about 20 different ones in the Exodus era kit, but I wanted to make some of them partway done to help you, give you a head start, a jump start on your digital page. So I'm just going to tweak it and make this frame stand out a little bit. I'm going to group this whole section so I can move it around. And I'm going to put a pattern on this page because I don't want it to be so stark white. Now I'm going to group that and hide it for just a minute because I want to add something else to this page. I want to add one of the clusters, which is also something that's included that gives you a head start. Instead of adding 15 elements, you've got one cluster that has maybe 6 or 7 elements already in it. Drag the corner so you don't lose your proportions. And now we can put back the group and put it under the cluster slightly. And I want to go get, for the second page, I want to get the Bible verse Numbers 21, 8, and 9 in the English Standard Version. I'm going to use a butterfly script. And the Lord said to Moses, I'm going to center the text. Make a fiery serpent and set it on a pole, and everyone who is bitten who sees it shall live. It's verse 8 and 9, Numbers 21, 8 and 9. The reason they called it the fiery serpent was either because it was red or because it burned like fire when they were bitten. I tend to believe it was the latter, but the commentaries say different things. Okay, here's something that I can show you what I want to do here. I'm going to simplify this layer and then use this tool to remove the victory part. And now I still have the brazen serpent title. In Photoshop Elements, you have to still hold the Shift key. They keep changing it on me. Sometimes you have to hold it. It depends on which version I'm using, and I just updated. I was using, and you don't have to hold the Shift key in the other version, but you have to in this version, unless you drag on the side. So I want to add that there. And we will add a drop shadow. Which is much too big. So I'll go back to layers and click the little FX, and I'm going to fix this drop shadow by bringing it down quite a bit. Because this is word art. You never put a drop shadow under text, but only under word art as a very slight one because it's like a sticker. We never put drop shadows under text like this. However, if you wanted this to stand out more, you could always draw a rectangle around it and then drag that underneath the text. And then you could even change the color, look in the styles, in the patterns. You could make it wood or this lighter color. And with this lighter color, if you go to this pattern, you can bring down the opacity. So that's just an option. And of course, I would put a drop shadow on that also. Whoops. See how bad it looks when you put a drop shadow on text? Horrible. Don't do that. Control Z, undo, undo. So this is a little paper that you could put here if you wanted to. These are mountains. You could fit in here. You could multiply, but it won't matter because it looks pretty shaded the way it is because of this image. And we can add a butterfly to the top cluster. And put a drop shadow on it. You can put a very thick drop shadow on a butterfly because you want it to look like it's hovering off the page. The problem is most people use drop shadows like for butterflies for things like ribbons. So you need to know the difference and make the butterfly can be a distance and a size off the page, but ribbons and flowers and things aren't that far off the page, as you can see here. So I want to save it, and I use the naming convention BJD for Bible Journaling Digitally, and then I put the name of the book, which this is Numbers, and something to help me to remember it, and I just want to add a flower to the edge of the photo. It's important to do that so you can find this later, and I'm going to save it as a TIFF file, which means all the layers are intact, and I can open it at any time and rearrange it. If you don't save it as a TIFF or a PSD, you will not be able to edit it later. And put a drop shadow on the flower. And I'll just tweak it a little bit more before I crop it to share it online. And I'll give it a final tweak. I'm going to move this title down to this area. That looks a lot better. And I'm done with this page. I'll just stick it on a background. And here is my final page. If you are interested in Bible journaling digitally, we have a class that teaches you how to use Photoshop or Photoshop Elements, and you get a $20 coupon if you get it from the link below. And if you'd like to find out more about the Exodus class, go to BibleJournalLove.com and click on Online Classes at the top. For more information, visit our Facebook group. I check in there a couple times every day, and I'll be glad to answer questions. Bye-bye.